Welcome viewers, in this video we'll see the introduction about the transient available in the circuit theory. Subscribe the channel for more videos and notification. Soft copy of this material available in the drive. The link is given in the description box. Now we'll go to the topic transient. We'll see the introduction about the transient. A circuit having constant sources is said to be in steady state if the current and voltage does not change with the time. So the steady state means having the constant sources, voltage or current source, that will not change with respect to the time. Then it is called a steady state. Thus, circuit with currents and voltage having constant amplitude and constant frequency, sinusoidal function, and also considered to be in a steady state. That the circuit with current and voltage, constant amplitude and constant frequency in sinusoidal function, that also considered as a steady state. So that means the amplitude or frequency of the sinusoidal never changes in a steady state circuit. So the steady state circuit means amplitude or frequency remains same, that will not change with respect to the time. Then it is called a steady state. Then what is about the transient state? Steady state we know very well, that is the amplitude and frequency is not changing with respect to the time. Then what about the transient state? In a network containing energy storage elements, with change in excitation, the current or voltage change from one state to other state. So the circuit contains the energy storage elements, that is inductor and capacitor. So when the excitation is there, the voltage and current is changing from one state to other state. The behavior of the voltage or current when it is changed from one state to another state is called a transient state. So that is due to the energy storage element. Current or voltage change from one state to another state, that is called a transient state. Right. Now we'll see the transient time. What is the transient time? The time taken for the circuit to change from one state to another state is called a transient time. The time taken to change from one state to another state is called a transient time. Transient state means one state to another state, for which how many time taken is called a transient time. Right. I will see the natural response. What is meant by natural response? The application of KVL and KCL, Kirchhoff's voltage law and Kirchhoff's current law, to circuit containing energy storage element result in differential rather than algebraic equation. We got the differential equation, di by dt, dv by dt, not a algebraic equation, due to the energy storage element. When we consider a circuit containing energy storage which are independent of the sources, response depends upon the nature of the circuit, then it is called natural response. Right? So when the natural response means the circuit containing storage element independent of the source, but it depends upon the nature of the circuit, that is called natural response. Then transient response. Storage element deliver their energy to the resistance. Hence, the response changes with time and gets saturated after some time, and it is referred as a transient response. Right? The storage element deliver the energy to the resistance. So the response changes with the time, gets saturated after some time. So this is called a transient response from one state to another state. Then forced response. Now we'll see what is the forced response. When we consider sources acting on a circuit, the response depends upon nature of the source or sources. In earlier case, natural response means not depends upon the source, that is depends upon the nature of the circuit. If we consider source or nature of the source, then this response is called forced response. So here the response depends upon the sources. Natural response means sources will not affect the circuit, but the circuit, nature of the circuit itself is called a natural response. That is depends upon the nature of the circuit. Right. So in this we'll see the final conclusion. In other words, the complete response of the circuit consists of two parts: forced response, transient response. Forced response means that is due to sources. Transient response means due to storage element changes from one state to another state. Right. When we consider differential equation, the complete solution consists of two parts: the complementary function, particular solution. So that is depends upon the differential equation. By solving this, we can go for further. So in this video, we discuss what is meant by transient. That is, first we studied what is steady state. Without changing the amplitude, it's called a steady state. When the amplitude changes from one state to another state, that is called a transient state. Time taken is called transient time. Then natural response and forced response, that is purely depends upon the source. If the source is not affecting the circuit, means natural response. If the sources affecting the nature of the circuit, means it is a forced response. Right. Then transient response means the storage elements that deliver the energy to the resistant. That is called a transient response. In this case, we got in KVL, KCL, we got the differential equation also. In that time, we can go for complementary function and particular solution. Subscribe the channel for more videos and notifications. Soft copy of this material available in the drive. The link is given in the description box. Thank you for listening.